play the Caro-kann, guys?
E4.
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 Huh.
C6.
Yeah, this is the Caro-kann. And why do people play C6? What's the idea behind playing?
D5.
To play D5. So just to avoid a symmetric position, they're going for D5 push. Now white's main move, logical move, what's the best move?
D4.
Yeah, of course you will grab the sender with D4, that's a standard move, and black plays D5. Right? So
D5.
this is the standard position of, no, there are many options here.
No, white. For white we can.
That's what I'm saying, there are many options, not just E5. That's what you have to learn first.
So I usually play that move.
You play E5, okay. So here white has three main options. You can push, you can exchange, you can defend.
Yeah.
All three are completely fine. The most popular options are, this is called the classical variation. You bring out a knight, you defend this, and usually what happens is pawn takes, knight takes, bishop comes out, you move the knight, bishop goes back, and white goes for h4. This is very standard. Now there is a threat of h5 trapping the bishop. So black has to play h6 or h5. And now white usually goes bishop d3. And after takes, white can even think of castling long and playing a good position. Like it's comfortable for white, I would say. But it's a close game, right? It's not a very symmetric position. There are imbalances. Black hasn't developed pieces yet. But you can say this pawn push has made things a little weak on this side. So this is a playable position for black. This is one of the options. Defending the the pawn with the knight. The classical variation. So let's go back.
So next time in chess.com, if anybody plays this Caro-kann, I'll play the classical standard variation.
Why? I thought you would play the advanced variation. You're used to playing advanced. It's good to try things, but you have to first learn it properly before you try it in a game. You have to analyze it properly yourself before you go for anything.
So I searched a bit on Google because my friend, his name is Kian, he's in your.
Kian Agarwal, okay.
Yeah. So what he does, he is in my class only. He keeps on playing Caro-kann and Caro-kann.
Okay.
That's why.
So what do you do against him in
I
this
play the
position?
same thing and.
What same thing? What move?
I play the same thing, but then after that I take the pawn.
Which move? Right in this position, what do you do?
E5.
Simple question.
E5. Pawn takes.
Can you tell me properly what move you play? What E5? What E5? Where is E5? E5 is pushing the pawn, not taking the pawn.
Oh yeah, I mean D5.
So exchange variation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So knight c3 is a classical variation where you defend the pawn, expecting takes, and the game goes on. The most popular is actually the advanced variation because you're pushing a pawn forward, you're gaining space, and it looks good, right? But black also has a pawn in the center. Center is locked now. Now the main move for black, there are two good moves here for black. One is opening up the bishop, bringing out the bishop, because you anyway want to play e6 to stop the pawn to develop this bishop. So you would want your bishop out of the pawn chain. This is the main move.
Yeah.
The second move is immediately challenging the root of the pawn chain. Now white will play c3, takes, or bring queen out, knight out, and put pressure on the pawn. That's one way to play. Yes, Rayansh?
So what if we take the pawn on c3?
Then black will just play e6 and take back the pawn. You can't really defend it for long. So it will just become good for black. So bishop f5 is a main move. We'll focus on that. White has many options. Bishop d3 is one option. Knight f3 is another option, normal option. There is one attacking option here. That is g4. Bishop will go back, right? There is also bishop going back to d7, but bishop g6 is the best option.
Then h4.
Yeah, then h4. This is I don't know the name of it. I think it's called the bayonet attack. Now what?
I think it's called a tall.
No. What should black do here?
h6.
Yeah, h6 or h5. h6 is not the best move because you push. Bishop has to go back because coming here f3 will trap it anyway. I mean, you'll have to go back. And now bishop d3. And position. Now before bishop d3, you can even play e6. e6 first. Open up the king. And then bishop d3. Takes, and queen g6 is coming. So h6 allows this h5 push. So it's not ideal to do that. Let's go back. Where was the point? Here. Okay. So bishop in this position after h4, the threat is h5.
Yeah.
It's a threat, right? What happens, Praneeth, if after h5 bishop e4? What will you do for white? If black plays a silly move, white plays h5, bishop e4, how do you win? Tell loudly, confidently. No, don't tell it like you're telling Rayansh. Tell everybody loudly.
Knight F3.
Knight F3. Is it winning?
No,
So look for winning moves. Look for a better move. Try to find the better move. Athar, what will you play after H5, Bishop E4?
Bishop E4, maybe I would.
Not maybe. What will you play?
I would play knight to c3.
Knight to C3. Again, missing the point. The whole point of all this line, you are completely missing, both of you. Let me ask Rayansh Manna.
Sir, after Bishop E4, I'll play F3.
That's the point, right? We are trapping the bishop. Now, why did we play G4 and H4?
So that's
To develop our pieces normally and play.
So
Then you say, 1 second. It's not a competition, Arav. If that's what you also thought, then good. Why don't you tell that? So, after G4, H4, if you simply develop your pieces, you opened up your king side for no reason. Well, you wasted 2 pawn moves. You're doing all this to gain space to trap the bishop. So, if the bishop comes here, you play F3. That's how we win the piece. So, that is why black should play H5. Making space for the bishop to move back. And now, if you take, it becomes good for black. So, you push and the game goes on. Like black will probably play E6. White will play bishop D3, takes, and game goes on.
how will white castle?
You castle this side. That side it's anyway not safe. So you castle this side. So this is the advanced variation where you have the option of attacking with G4, H4 if the bishop comes to F5. That's option number 2. Yeah, Caro-kann is the opening of the month. Now coming to the third option. So again, how do you play the Caro-kann, Vihan?
So
E4.
then c6.
Okay.
After
What's the main move here? Yeah, this is the Caro-kann. Now what's the main move for white?
Then d4,
D4 and black plays.
d5.
Okay. Now wait, what are the options for white here? Main options.
Knight c6.
Knight C3, okay.
Knight e5.
E5, okay. And
Take d5.
yeah. So this is the advanced variation, this is the classical variation, and this is the exchange variation. So out of the 3 options, both E5 and Knight C3 leads to very interesting games. Like there is imbalances, position is different. Like especially after E5, it becomes a very interesting game because you are closing out the center, you're gaining space, and position becomes wild, like complicated. If you want to keep things simple, but you won't have any advantage that much out of the opening, you can go for the exchange variation. You'll have a slight advantage, not great for white, but you'll have a stable position. No risk, no craziness, just takes. Of course, black will take with the pawn, right? And then you can continue with bishop out, knight out, c3, and normal chess. Yes, Rayansh?
So why can't black take with the queen?
Then you're simply allowing white to bring out a piece, no? If the queen comes out, you automatically bring out a knight.
Queen goes to a5.
Queen go to a5, nothing will happen. What if the queen goes means? Queen goes to a5, queen will be on a5.
Yeah, so black will have a good position.
How is it a good position? White, is it good to bring out the queen early? Then how is it good for black? If queen comes out and knight comes out, which is better, knight coming out? That's why you develop a minor piece, isn't it? Why don't we develop the queen first? Because it's not good to develop the queen. You will get attacked easily with knight, with bishop. So that is why queen takes is not a good idea because you're giving your opponent a free move. You're wasting 2 moves just to put a queen here. And white is playing a move that anyway helps him. So if you're giving your opponent free tempo, it is good for the opponent. So takes, and now the game continues. There is also c4. You can even go for directly c4. And if pawn takes, you have a good position. So black usually plays knight out and the game continues. So this is about the Caro-kann. So any questions, everyone?
So after c6 is just out of the book, right?
Yeah. So when you play the games in class, after E4, E4, C6, you can play however you want. But if you want a decent position, most people will play D4. But those who came late or those who don't know the Caro-kann may not play D4. Who knows? You missed the whole opening, Mr. Praneeth.
So what's that?
Yeah. No, not this pretty, that pretty. You thought the class at 6:05. Oh, class was at 5:50, no, Tuesday. Can you leave the carpet, Ashvik?
And I was also playing, that's the reason I missed it.
Okay, so we were discussing the Caro-kann. This is the opening of this month. So now D4, D5, and it's a very simple opening to understand, right? But when you play, you will get very different, complicated positions. So that's it about the Caro-kann. Anybody ask questions? Hi. Anybody has questions? Pranit, you have played the Caro-kann before? As black?
As first opening as a black, but I still don't understand the theory.
Hmm.
So should I take the pawn on e4?
Not e4, it's white's turn. Now how will black take?
So let's say the white takes the pawn on d4, 5.
No, that's one option. That will be the exchange variation. That's one option. The other option is pushing forward, and the other option is knight c3. So which we all discussed just now. So you'll have to watch it later, the video. So let